What if the key to unlocking your greatest potential isn't some grand, life-changing moment, but the small decisions you make every single day? Imagine waking up tomorrow and making the conscious choice to shape your future with simple, deliberate actions. What if the difference between where you are now and the life you've always dreamed of comes down to mastering 10 powerful habits, habits that you can start building today? Sounds too simple. Well, that's the beauty of it. Transformation doesn't need to be overwhelming. You don't need to wait for motivation to strike, nor do you need a perfect start. All you need is to begin, right now. In the next few moments, we're about to dive into how tiny habits, practiced consistently, can completely rewire your mindset and set you on the path to the life you've always wanted. So ask yourself this: how would your life change if you could reset your brain and build a mindset that works with you, not against you? Well, today is the day that begins. Stay with me and let's get started. Chapter 1. Start your morning with intention. Have you ever felt like your mornings dictate the entire day? Most of us wake up, groggy and unfocused, mindlessly grabbing for our phones. We let the world demand our attention before we even have a chance to breathe, let alone set the tone for the day ahead. The result? A chaotic start that cascades into an equally frantic day. But what if you could change all that? What if, instead of waking up to chaos, you could start each morning with intention, a sense of control and purpose? It's not about waking up at 5 a.m. or following some extravagant routine that feels impossible to maintain. No, it's about taking back control of those first moments and setting your brain up for success. Here's the truth. Your morning is your first opportunity to vote for the kind of person you're becoming. It's the moment where you have the power to decide how your mind will operate for the rest of the day. When you start your morning intentionally, you show your brain, I'm in charge today. I lead my day. Imagine this. You wake up not in a rush, not overwhelmed by notifications or distractions. You take a moment, just a few minutes, to breathe, to notice the present, to choose your mood and your direction. That's the power of an intentional morning. It's not about perfection. It's about creating a repeatable system that shifts your brain from autopilot to active, intentional engagement. Now, I know what you're thinking. Isn't that a lot to ask for first thing in the morning? Well, it's simpler than you think. You don't need a perfect routine or even a 5-step checklist. All you need is a small shift in how you approach those first few minutes after you wake up. You need to become intentional. Let's break it down into 5 simple steps that will set your mind up for a productive, focused, and empowered day. These aren't big actions. They're small, practical habits you can implement right away, and they will make all the difference. Step 1. Breathe and notice before you do anything. Just breathe. Don't reach for your phone. Don't dive into the chaos. Take a few deep breaths. Focus on being present. This simple act signals to your brain that you are in control. You choose awareness before action. Even just 5 quiet breaths are enough to reset your mind for the day ahead. Step 2. Hydrate and wake your body. We all know how dehydrated we get overnight. Your brain and your entire system thrives on hydration. A simple glass of water does more than hydrate you. It resets your body and mind. Hydration wakes up your body. A few stretches or deep breaths will further help signal to your nervous system that the day has begun. This small act can change your energy level and focus for the rest of the day. Step 3. Set one clear intention. You've made it through the first 2 steps. Now it's time to choose your focus for the day. What is the one thing that will drive you? Is it focus? Patience? Maybe it's growth, discipline, or energy. Whatever it is, hold onto that intention. Write it down. Say it out loud. Let that intention become your mental anchor, guiding all your decisions for the next 24 hours. Step 4. Protect your attention for 20 minutes. The first 20 minutes of your day are crucial. This is your time, your space. Protect it fiercely. Avoid the temptation to scroll through social media or check emails. Keep your focus on you and what you intend to create. This is your time to set the tone for how you'll interact with the world, calm, clear, and with intention. Once you protect your focus, you begin to reclaim control over your life. Step 5. Move your body. Even for just 1 minute, you don't need a full workout right out of the gate. A short walk, a couple of stretches, or even some deep breathing will do wonders. Movement signals to your brain that you are alive, awake, and ready to engage with the world. Plus, it helps sharpen your focus and stabilizes your mood. These 5 steps don't require hours of preparation or some flawless execution. They just require intention. A small, simple shift in how you approach your mornings can change the course of your entire day. And with enough practice, it can change the course of your life. If you want to begin mastering the art of intention, all it takes is starting tomorrow morning with just one of these habits. Once you do, you'll feel the difference. You'll feel more in control, more empowered, and ready to face whatever the day has in store. But don't just stop here. Keep listening, because the next chapter is all about protecting your most valuable resource, your focus. Chapter 2. Protect your focus. Have you ever noticed how quickly your focus can slip away? You sit down, ready to tackle your most important task of the day, and before you know it, you've drifted to something completely unrelated. A quick check of your phone, a message from a friend, an alert from an app. Before you know it, hours have passed, and you're left wondering where all your time went. Focus is the most powerful tool you have for success. Every dream, every habit, every moment of progress in your life depends on it. But here's the thing. Focus doesn't happen by accident. It has to be protected. Without protection, distractions will pull you in every direction. You'll be at the mercy of every new notification, every new thought, and every new impulse. This is why protecting your focus is the next essential habit in rewiring your mindset. You need to build a life that supports focus, not one that drags you away from it. Let's get real for a moment. The modern world is a constant battleground for your attention. You wake up to a phone full of notifications. You sit at your desk, only to be interrupted by endless distractions. Your brain is constantly pulled in 1,000 different directions, and every time it happens, you lose precious mental energy. But why is this so important? Because, without focus, even the strongest intentions fail. Without focus, your best-laid plans crumble. Without focus, your mind becomes a battlefield, and the noise starts to drown out your clarity. The truth is, focus isn't a personality trait. It's a boundary you create around your attention. And once you realize this, you'll see how powerful the habit of focus really is. Protecting your focus means training your brain to stay with one thing at a time. It means creating space for your mind to stay on track, uninterrupted by the noise of the world. So, how do you protect your focus in a world full of distractions? Let's break it down into practical steps that you can begin applying immediately. Step 1. Turn off non-essential notifications. You won't believe how much of your focus is lost to notifications. Each ping, buzz, and pop-up is a tiny thief of your attention. Even if you don't open the message, your brain still reacts to the notification. It's a signal to your mind that something is important, when, in reality, it's often just noise. Start by turning off non-essential notifications. You don't need to be alerted every time someone likes your post or sends a message. Your brain deserves a break from that constant stimulation. With fewer distractions, your mind will be sharper, and your focus will become more powerful. Step 2. Create a daily focus block. It's not enough to hope that you'll be focused throughout the day. You need to schedule time specifically for deep, uninterrupted focus. And here's the trick. Don't overwhelm yourself with hours of uninterrupted work. Start small. Create one focus block, whether it's 25, 45, or 60 minutes, and give yourself permission to focus solely on one task during that time. No multitasking, no switching between apps, just pure intentional focus. You're not just trying to get through the task. You're building the habit of focus itself. By doing this consistently, you're strengthening your attention muscle every time you sit down to work. Step 3. Clean your environment before you clean your mind. Clutter in your environment leads to clutter in your mind. If your desk is messy, your brain interprets it as extra cognitive load. It's harder to focus when you're surrounded by distractions in your physical space. Before diving into your focus block, take just a minute to clear your space. Remove anything that doesn't serve your current task. Clean up your workspace, close unnecessary tabs, and organize your surroundings. A clean environment helps clear mental fog, making it easier to focus on the task at hand. Step 4. Protect your mornings. The first hours of your day are the most precious. Your brain is fresh, your energy is high, and your willpower is at its peak. Protect your focus in the morning before the world begins demanding your attention. Don't start your day by diving into your phone or checking emails. Instead, use the morning to focus on yourself, your goals, and your priorities. Give your brain space to work without interruption. This time is for you. Use it to set the tone for the rest of your day. If you allow distractions in too early, your focus for the day will be fragmented. Guard that first block of time fiercely. It's when your focus is most powerful. Step 5. Practice the art of monotasking. The modern world has trained us to think that multitasking is the way to get more done. But in reality, multitasking drains your mental energy and reduces the quality of your work. Your brain was designed to focus on one thing at a time. So stop bouncing from task to task. Instead, commit to monotasking. Pick one thing and give it your full attention. Whether it's reading, writing, or working on a project, focus solely on that task. Finish it before you move on to the next one. This habit will not only improve your work quality, but it will also build your focus muscles, making it easier to stay locked in for longer periods of time. Why this habit rewires your mindset. By protecting your focus, you're creating the foundation for mental strength. Focus is the key to discipline. Discipline leads to consistency, and consistency is the bedrock of transformation. When you protect your focus, you train your brain to resist the pull of distractions. You teach yourself to stay grounded, calm, and clear, even when the world around you is chaotic. As you strengthen your focus, you'll find that your ability to achieve goals, make decisions, and stay grounded in the present moment increases exponentially. The identity shift when you protect your focus. You become someone who doesn't get distracted by every little thing. You become someone who respects their time, their energy, and their attention. You become someone who directs their life with intention, not reaction. The more you protect your focus, the more resilient your mindset becomes. Distractions lose their power, and you begin to see the world through a lens of clarity and purpose. Protecting your focus is a simple but incredibly powerful habit that will shape your life in ways you can't yet imagine. Chapter 3. Do one hard thing daily. There's a part of you that only grows when you push yourself beyond your comfort zone. A part that remains dormant when life is too easy, too predictable, too convenient. This part of you is responsible for resilience, discipline, confidence, mental toughness, and emotional stability. But here's the kicker. This part only wakes up when you choose discomfort. Now, this doesn't mean you need to suffer. This isn't about forcing yourself into pain or punishing yourself. It's about training your mind and body to stay steady when things get uncomfortable. Because here's the truth. Discomfort is the doorway to every meaningful upgrade in your life. Every time you shy away from discomfort, you reinforce the idea that you are fragile. But every time you step into discomfort, you tell yourself, I am capable. I can handle more than I thought. And that's how you build strength. So why is this habit so transformative? Because the most resilient, disciplined, and mentally tough people don't avoid discomfort. They embrace it. They choose it. They make discomfort a part of their daily routine. If you want to build the kind of mindset that stays strong no matter the obstacle, you need to do one hard thing daily. And no, it doesn't have to be extreme. The key is choosing something small that challenges you, something that stretches you just a little bit more than yesterday. Step 1. Identify one hard thing in your day. A hard thing isn't necessarily dramatic. It's not about climbing mountains or doing extreme challenges. It's about choosing something that stretches you. It could be physical, emotional, mental, or practical. Something that builds tolerance, discipline, or mental stability. It could be something as simple as taking a cold shower for 30 seconds, going for a walk when you don't feel like it, starting a task you've been avoiding for weeks, having a difficult conversation you've been putting off, waking up without hitting snooze, turning off your phone for 30 minutes to focus. The point isn't to make yourself miserable. It's to stretch your discomfort threshold so that you become comfortable with the uncomfortable. Step 2. Do the hard thing first. If possible, when you delay the hard thing, you let stress and anxiety pile up. Procrastination increases your resistance, and before you know it, that hard thing becomes a mountain. On the other hand, when you do it first, everything else in your day feels easier. Why? Because once you've conquered something difficult, the rest of the day is nothing by comparison. Your mind starts to recognize the pattern. We did something hard. We can do more. This isn't always possible, but when it is, doing the hard thing first will give you a huge confidence boost and set a tone of resilience for the entire day. Step 3. Stay with the discomfort instead of escaping it. Your brain is wired to avoid discomfort. When things get tough, you want to quit. You want to find a way out. But if you learn to stay with the discomfort for just a few more seconds, you'll see that it's not as bad as your mind makes it out to be. In those moments, remind yourself, discomfort is temporary. It's data, not danger. If you stay with it even just for a few moments, you'll realize that nothing bad happens. Your heart races, your breath shifts, your mind resists. But in those moments, you grow. Step 4. Celebrate the micro victory. Once you've completed the hard thing, don't move on like it's nothing. Celebrate it. Acknowledge the effort you just made. Recognize that you've done something difficult and followed through. You don't need a big reward, just a small internal acknowledgement that you've taken the challenge head on. This recognition triggers a dopamine release that makes the experience feel rewarding. It's not about indulging. It's about building momentum and reinforcing the habit of showing up, even when it's tough. Step 5. Track it. Keep track of the hard thing you did each day. Whether it's a simple checklist, a journal entry, or a digital app, make it a habit to record your progress. This isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. Tracking gives you visual proof of your growth, and that proof strengthens your identity. The more you see it, the more you believe it. I am the kind of person who takes on challenges. Why this habit rewires your mindset. Doing one hard thing every day teaches you that you are capable of far more than you initially thought. You're not someone who avoids discomfort. You're someone who rises to the challenge. Every time you face discomfort, you build resilience. Every time you take action despite fear, you reinforce your discipline. This habit rewires your mindset by transforming discomfort from something to fear into something to embrace. You begin to see discomfort as growth, not a threat. And that shift in perspective is where the real power lies. The identity shift when you make a habit of doing hard things, your identity shifts. You become someone who doesn't shrink away from difficulty. Someone who is strong in the face of adversity. Someone who builds their resilience, one small challenge at a time. You become someone who chooses growth over comfort. You stop seeing obstacles as roadblocks and start seeing them as opportunities to level up. Discomfort no longer has power over you. It's simply the gateway to your growth. This is how you build mental toughness. By facing discomfort head-on, day after day, you rewire your mindset to embrace challenges. And when you do that, there's no limit to what you can accomplish. Ready to take on the next challenge? The next chapter will help you strengthen the most important muscle of all, the muscle of completion. Let's move forward into Chapter 4, where we dive deep into why finishing what you start is the key to unlocking your true potential. Chapter 4. Finish what you start. There's a quiet, almost unspoken power that comes from finishing what you start. It's not a flashy power. It doesn't announce itself with fanfare or make big, dramatic statements. It's the kind of power that seeps into your very identity, shifting how you see yourself. When you finish what you start, you prove something to yourself. I keep my word. I follow through. I trust myself. But most people don't experience this power because they never finish anything. They start with excitement, motivation, and ambition, but they don't stay long enough to see the results. Think about your life for a moment. How many things have you started but never finished? How many books are still gathering dust on your shelf? How many projects are half done? How many dreams are lying dormant, waiting to be realized but never completed? We've all been there. We've all started something with enthusiasm, only to abandon it when the excitement fades or the journey gets tough. The truth is, finishing is the real work. Finishing is where the transformation happens. It's where your identity gets solidified. But before we dive into how to build the habit of finishing, let's first acknowledge something uncomfortable. Starting is easy. Finishing, on the other hand, is hard. The truth about starting V's. Finishing starting feels good. It's exciting. It's full of novelty, hope, and possibility. Starting gives you that dopamine hit, the burst of motivation that makes you feel like you're on top of the world. But finishing is slow, repetitive, and unglamorous. Finishing takes discipline, focus, and sometimes a lot of discomfort. And that's why most people give up before they finish. Think about a project you've left unfinished. Maybe it's a book you started reading but never completed. Maybe it's a fitness goal you abandoned. Maybe it's a work project you left halfway through. Here's the painful reality. Every time you quit something, you reinforce the belief that you can't be trusted with something bigger. Every time you quit, you weaken your discipline, your confidence, and your momentum. But here's the flip side. Finishing builds trust. Finishing proves that you can rely on yourself. You can follow through. And when you build that trust with yourself, you start to believe that you can finish anything. You build a track record of success. Your confidence grows. And suddenly, you become the kind of person who completes what they start, not just with big projects, but with every small task that comes their way. Step 1. Choose one unfinished task and complete it today. This step is simple, but powerful. Pick something you've started but never finished. It could be a small task, like answering an email, organizing your desk, or finishing a chapter of a book. Whatever it is, complete it today. This isn't about doing everything. It's about building momentum. Finishing just one thing will shift your identity from someone who abandons tasks to someone who finishes them. By completing this task, you're not just removing clutter from your life. You're proving to yourself that you are someone who follows through. Step 2. Create a finish list, not a to-do list. Most people create endless to-do lists, but they don't follow through. Why? Because to-do lists grow uncontrollably and they often include things that don't matter. The secret isn't in doing more, it's in doing what matters fully. Create a finish list instead. A finish list is simple. It's a list of things that you will complete today. No additions after you start. When you make your finish list, you're setting boundaries for your day. It's a commitment to focus on what matters and finish it. Step 3. Break the task into its smallest action. The biggest reason people give up is because tasks feel too overwhelming. The trick is to break the task down into the smallest possible action. If finishing a task feels like climbing a mountain, break it down into tiny steps, like taking the first 5 minutes of a project. Once you start small, you'll find the momentum builds. You won't feel overwhelmed by the enormity of the task anymore. It's not about finishing the whole project right away. It's about taking that first small step and completing it. Whether it's sending one email, writing one paragraph, or organizing just one drawer, start small and watch how it snowballs into completion. Step 4. Remove escape routes. When you feel resistance, your brain will try to convince you to escape. It will offer you distractions. It will give you 100 excuses to avoid the task. This is when you need to close your escape routes. Eliminate distractions. Turn off your phone. Close your inbox. Make your environment conducive to finishing the task at hand. When you limit your options, you make your commitment stronger. You're telling your brain, there is no way out. We're finishing this. Step 5. Stop negotiating with your mind. Your mind will always try to convince you that it's okay to quit. It'll tell you, you can do it later. It's too hard. You've done enough. But here's the thing. Discipline begins when negotiation ends. When you hear those excuses, don't argue with them. Don't bargain. Just say to yourself, no, we're finishing this. The moment you stop negotiating, you take back control. You're not doing it because it's easy. You're doing it because you made a commitment, and you're not going to let yourself down. Why this habit rewires your mindset. Finishing what you start doesn't just change your to-do list. It changes who you are. Every time you complete something, you're strengthening your identity as someone who follows through. You're building the mental toughness, discipline, and resilience needed to tackle bigger challenges in the future. Finishing proves that you are capable. It gives you confidence. It builds your trust in yourself. And it creates a cycle of success that feeds into everything you do. You stop doubting your ability to finish, and you start believing in your ability to start new things and finish them, one after the other. The identity shift. When you make finishing a habit, you transform into someone who follows through. You become someone who doesn't quit at the first sign of discomfort. You become someone who does the work, not because it's easy, but because it's who you are. And this shift in identity is what rewires your mindset. You stop seeing yourself as someone who gets excited at the start but can't follow through. You see yourself as someone who finishes, no matter what. But this is only the beginning. Completing tasks is just one part of the equation. To build on this momentum, you need to create something even more powerful, the habit of contribution. In Chapter 5, you'll learn why creating more than you consume is the secret to reclaiming your mental energy, purpose, and clarity. Let's move forward to Chapter 5, where we dive into the power of creation. Chapter 5. Consume less, create more. In today's world, it's easy to get overwhelmed by all the information around us. We consume constantly, whether it's scrolling through social media, binge-watching shows, or reading articles. We're flooded with endless opinions, entertainment, and noise, and most of it doesn't add any real value to our lives. But here's the truth you need to embrace if you want to rewire your mindset. Creation rewires your brain. Consumption numbs it. When you consume mindlessly, you're essentially letting the world shape your thoughts, your emotions, and your ideas. You're allowing others to control your mental energy. But when you create, you take control. You shape your world. You direct your thoughts. You use your mind to generate value, rather than just absorbing whatever comes your way. Let's face it, most of us consume far more than we create. We get caught in the loop of scrolling through social media, watching endless videos, or absorbing opinions that don't align with our goals. And while these things may entertain or inform us, they don't move us forward. They drain us. Here's the painful truth. You cannot think clearly when your mind is overloaded with noise. You cannot build discipline when your brain is overstimulated. And you cannot live with intention when you're constantly reacting to other people's agendas. So, how do we break this cycle? How do we shift from mindless consumption to intentional creation? Let's break down how you can start to create more and consume less, and how this shift will completely transform your mindset. Step 1. Set a daily consumption limit. You don't need to eliminate consumption entirely, but you do need to refine it. Set a limit on how much time you spend consuming content each day. This could be 30 minutes of social media, 1 hour of TV, or whatever makes sense for you. But the key here is intentional consumption. You still need information, entertainment, and inspiration. But instead of mindlessly scrolling or watching, consume with purpose. Only engage with content that aligns with your goals, that inspires you, that moves you forward in some way. By limiting your consumption, you create space in your mind for your own thoughts, ideas, and creativity. Step 2. Replace consumption with creation. This is where the magic happens. Every time you catch yourself consuming content, ask yourself, what can I create instead? This doesn't mean you have to become an artist or a writer. Creation can be simple. It can be writing a paragraph of your thoughts, recording a quick idea you've had, solving a problem you've been avoiding, planning a project you want to start, improving a skill, organizing something that's been stressing you out. Every moment you shift from consumption to creation, you take control of your mental energy. You stop being a passive observer and you become an active participant in your own life. Step 3. Keep your creation simple, small, and sustainable. The biggest reason people don't create is because they put too much pressure on themselves to produce something perfect or significant. The key to consistency is small, simple, sustainable creation. You don't need to write a novel. You don't need to invent something revolutionary. Start with something manageable. Create one thing a day, no matter how small it is. It could be a journal entry, a brief sketch, a solution to a problem, a short video, or even just an improvement to something you already do. The idea is to create regularly, not perfectly. By doing this daily, you'll build a habit of creation that feels easy, not overwhelming. And over time, those small creations will add up to something bigger. Step 4. Reduce digital noise. Increase real-world engagement. Most consumption today is digital, and so is most of our distraction. The constant stream of notifications, news, and updates pulls us away from our own lives and thoughts. But creation is often a physical, real-world act. So, reduce the digital noise and engage more with the physical world. Go for a walk, have a conversation, write something on paper, clean your space, or organize something in your home. These small acts of creation engage your mind and body in ways digital consumption simply can't. Creation isn't just about producing content. It's about interacting with the world around you in a meaningful way. Step 5. Celebrate the effort, not the outcome. When it comes to creation, Don't get caught up in perfection or external validation. Celebrate the effort, not the outcome. The goal isn't to create something perfect. It's to show up and create, even if what you make isn't the best thing ever. The act of creating consistently is what rewires your brain. It builds discipline, clarity, and confidence. When you celebrate the effort, you reinforce the identity of a creator. You train your brain to see creation as a process, not a product. The more you create, the stronger your mindset will become. Why this habit rewires your mindset: creation is active. Consumption is passive. And your brain changes more when you actively engage with the world around you than when you passively absorb what others have made. Creating forces you to solve problems, express ideas, and think critically. It strengthens your focus, boosts your confidence, and enhances your mental clarity. It moves you forward, one small step at a time, and helps you stop feeling stuck in cycles of comparison or distraction. The more you create, the more you'll experience cognitive confidence. You'll trust your ability to generate ideas and solve problems. Increased focus. Creating requires focus, and focus strengthens your mental discipline. Reduced anxiety. Creating something tangible takes you out of the world of distraction and into the world of action. A sense of purpose. When you create, you connect with something deeper than passive consumption. You engage with your own identity. And as you continue to create more than you consume, you'll see your mindset shift. You'll feel lighter, more in control, and more empowered. The identity shift. When you embrace the habit of creation, you transform your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who is passively absorbing what others create. Instead, you become someone who creates, someone who contributes, someone who uses their mind to generate value instead of simply consuming. This habit is about more than productivity. It's about building the life you want on your own terms with your own hands. It's about connecting with your deeper purpose and moving forward with intention. Ready to move on? After you've embraced the habit of creation, it's time to turn inward and build a habit that strengthens your energy, focus, and clarity. Let's move on to Chapter 6, where we'll explore the simple yet powerful habit of moving your body daily. Chapter 6. Move your body daily. You've probably heard it 1,000 times. You need to move more. But what if I told you that movement isn't just about fitness? It's not just about working out or getting in shape. Movement is mental rewiring. Your body isn't separate from your mind. Your thoughts, your emotions, your focus, your clarity, they're all deeply connected to the state of your physical energy. You cannot build a strong, clear, and focused mindset if your body is weak, stiff, or stagnant. But here's the thing. Most people treat movement as optional. They wait for motivation. They wait for the right time to start. They wait for energy, for the perfect routine. And because they wait, they never move. What if I told you that you don't have to wait for motivation to strike? You create energy through movement. Here's a powerful truth that most people miss. Energy is not something you find. Energy is something you create. When your body moves, your mind activates. When your muscles engage, your thoughts sharpen. When your heart rate rises, your energy increases. Movement not only recharges your body, it recharges your mind. But how does this simple act of moving your body change your mindset? How does it impact your focus, clarity, and emotional stability? Let's break it down into simple, actionable steps that will rewire your brain and boost your mental energy. Step 1. Start with a 5-minute rule. Let's start small. Most people fail at fitness routines because they set unrealistic goals. They try to do too much, too quickly, and when they can't keep up, they quit. The key is consistency over intensity. Start with just 5 minutes. Walk for 5 minutes. Stretch for 5 minutes. Do some light exercises for 5 minutes. The idea isn't to get the perfect workout. It's to create a habit of movement that becomes sustainable and easy to maintain. You'll find that after those 5 minutes, you'll want to keep going. And if not, that's fine. The goal is to get your body moving, not to overwork yourself. The more consistent you are, the easier it becomes to build momentum and make movement a part of your daily routine. Step 2. Choose a type of movement that feels natural. Not all movement is created equal, and not all workouts are suitable for everyone. The key here is to find a type of movement that feels natural for you. You don't need to do an intense workout or hit the gym every day. Movement can be as simple as a brisk walk around the block, light stretching or yoga, dancing to your favorite song, mobility exercises or bodyweight training. The key is to choose something you enjoy, something you can do every day without feeling overwhelmed. Movement that feels natural will make it easier to stay consistent. Don't copy routines that don't fit your lifestyle. Choose something that suits your body, your energy levels, and your personal preferences. Consistency comes from making movement feel effortless. Step 3. Move early to set your mental tone. The first moments of your day are critical. Your brain is fresh, your energy is high, and your motivation is ready to be activated. This is the perfect time to get your body moving. Movement in the morning primes your brain for the day ahead. You don't need to spend an hour in the gym. Just 30 seconds of stretching, a few deep breaths, or a quick walk can make a huge difference. Movement in the morning clears mental fog, reduces stress reactivity, boosts cognitive performance, and sharpens your focus. Moving early also boosts your discipline. It's a way to start your day by taking immediate action. Instead of waiting for motivation, you create it with your body. And when your body is engaged, your mind follows. Step 4. Break long sitting patterns with micro movements. Sitting for long periods may seem harmless, but it's not. Long periods of stillness drain your energy and reduce your clarity. Every hour, your body gets tighter, your mind gets foggier, and your mood becomes more sluggish. To combat this, take a minute every hour to stand up and move. Stretch your body, roll your shoulders, rotate your neck. Take a quick walk around the room, anything to break up the stillness. These small movements will boost circulation, re-energize your brain, and prevent mental fatigue from building up. Remember, movement doesn't need to be dramatic. It just needs to be consistent. Step 5. Use movement to reset your emotions. When stress, anxiety, frustration, or irritation rises, don't ignore it. Your body is speaking to you. And the fastest way to reset your emotional state is by resetting your physiology. Go for a walk, stretch your body, change your posture, do a few deep breaths. You'll be amazed at how quickly movement can release built-up tension and restore emotional balance. The mind and body are deeply interconnected, and your body's movements can directly impact your emotional state. When your body moves, your emotions follow. Instead of staying stuck in negative emotional patterns, you can use movement to interrupt them. Movement becomes your tool for emotional regulation. Why this habit rewires your mindset. Your mindset isn't just something that exists in your thoughts. It's rooted in your physiology, your body's energy, posture, and physical state. Movement rewires your mindset because it increases dopamine in a healthy way, boosting your mood and motivation. Stabilizes serotonin, improving emotional stability and mood regulation. Reduces cortisol, lowering stress and anxiety. Increases oxygen to the brain, improving focus and clarity. Stimulates neuroplasticity, helping your brain stay flexible and adaptable. When you make movement a part of your daily life, you're not just improving your physical health. You're improving your mental health. You're setting yourself up for a mindset that is sharp, resilient, calm, and capable. The identity shift when you make daily movement a habit. You transform your identity. You stop seeing movement as something optional or something to do only when you feel like it. Instead, you become someone who creates their own energy. You become someone who takes ownership of your physical state, not someone who waits for motivation to strike. You become someone who feels clearer, sharper, and stronger because your body is alive, and your mind reflects that energy. Ready for the next step? Now that you've learned how to harness the power of movement, it's time to dive into a habit that will sharpen your emotional intelligence, your self-awareness, and your inner peace. In Chapter 7, you'll discover the transformative power of journaling to understand yourself. Chapter 7. Journal to understand yourself. Your mind speaks to you every day, but most of the time, you're too busy or distracted to really listen. Thoughts race, emotions fluctuate, and actions unfold without much awareness. We move from task to task, thought to thought, feeling to feeling, never really taking a moment to pause and examine what's going on inside. But here's the truth. You cannot change what you cannot see. This is why journaling is one of the most powerful habits you can build to rewire your mindset. Not because writing is magical, but because awareness is the foundation of transformation. When you take the time to journal, even just for a few minutes, you create space between yourself and the noise in your mind. You slow down long enough to observe your thoughts, your emotions, and your patterns. You bring clarity to the chaos, and when you can see things clearly, you can begin to change them. Journaling isn't about recording your day like a diary or crafting beautiful prose. It's about understanding yourself. It's about unpacking your emotions, identifying your fears, and making sense of your thoughts. It's about finding clarity in a world full of distractions. Let's dive into how you can build this habit and start understanding yourself on a deeper level. Step 1. Ask the 3 clarity questions. The simplest way to get started with journaling is by asking yourself 3 powerful questions every day. 1. What am I avoiding? Avoidance reveals fear. It shows you the things you don't want to face, whether it's a task, a conversation, or an emotion. When you name what you're avoiding, you take away its power. It no longer controls you from the shadows. 2. What do I want right now? Your desires reveal direction. Writing down what you want gives your brain clarity. It helps you prioritize and focus on what matters most in the present moment. Sometimes, you'll find that what you really want isn't what you thought. It's something deeper, more meaningful, and more aligned with your true goals. 3. What do I need to let go of? Holding on to old fears, limiting beliefs, past mistakes, and outdated stories keeps you stuck. Journaling about what you need to release allows you to free up mental space and emotional energy. It's a form of self-liberation. Letting go is not about forgetting, but about making room for new growth. By asking these 3 questions each day, you begin to understand yourself at a deeper level. You start to see your patterns, your triggers, and the things that hold you back. And when you see them clearly, you can begin to change them. Step 2. Write without judgment. The most common struggle with journaling is the pressure to write correctly. People often try to write imperfect sentences, edit themselves as they go, or make their thoughts sound poetic. But this is not what journaling is about. Journaling is about honesty, not perfection. Don't worry about grammar, structure, or style. Your journal is your private space where you can be raw, messy, and unfiltered. Let your thoughts flow freely onto the page. You don't need to impress anyone, not even yourself. The goal is to be truthful with yourself. If your thoughts are scattered or contradictory, that's okay. If you're feeling overwhelmed, write about it. If you're angry or frustrated, express it. Write whatever comes to your mind without editing or censoring yourself. The more honest you are, the more clarity you'll gain. Step 3. Keep it short, but consistent. Journaling doesn't have to take hours. In fact, it shouldn't. The power of journaling lies in consistency, not length. Consistency builds clarity. You don't need to write pages every day. Start with just a few minutes. 2 to 3 minutes is all it takes. You can write one sentence, a short paragraph, or just bullet points. The key is to make it a regular practice, not a marathon session. Even if you only have time for a quick reflection, make it a habit. Over time, those few minutes will add up to profound self-awareness, and you'll start to see the patterns and beliefs that shape your thoughts, actions, and behaviors. Step 4. Use journaling to regulate your emotions. We all experience emotional ups and downs throughout the day. When you feel stressed, anxious, frustrated, or overwhelmed, journaling gives you a way to process those emotions without letting them control you. Instead of bottling up your feelings or letting them spiral, write them down. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling this way? How can I shift my mindset to respond better? Journaling helps you externalize your emotions. When you write them down, they lose their intensity. You create a distance between yourself and the emotion, which allows you to respond more thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. By journaling your feelings, you also increase your emotional intelligence. You start to notice patterns in your emotional responses, and over time, you become better at regulating your emotions. This is one of the most powerful benefits of journaling. It allows you to take charge of your emotional state rather than being at the mercy of it. Step 5. Review your patterns weekly. Consistency is important, but growth happens when you reflect on your journey. Once a week, set aside time to read through your journal entries. This isn't about judging yourself, it's about understanding. Look for patterns. What emotions show up repeatedly? What fears keep resurfacing? What triggers cause stress or anxiety? What actions or beliefs have helped you move forward? The more you reflect on your entries, the clearer the picture becomes. You'll start to identify which habits, thoughts, or patterns are holding you back and which ones are empowering you. This kind of awareness is what leads to true transformation. Why this habit rewires your mindset. Journaling rewires your mindset because it creates awareness. Awareness is the first step to transformation. You can't change what you don't understand. But when you take the time to reflect on your thoughts, emotions, and patterns, you create the space for change. By regularly journaling, you rewire your brain to process emotions, manage stress, and respond with intention. You turn your unconscious reactions into conscious choices, and with that, you shift your mindset from reactive to proactive. Journaling also helps you develop self-trust. Every time you write something down, you're reaffirming that you have the answers within you. You're proving that you can navigate your internal world, understand your emotions, and make thoughtful decisions. The more you journal, the more you will become attuned to your inner world. This deep self-awareness is the foundation for personal growth, mental clarity, and emotional balance. The identity shift when you make journaling a regular habit. You transform into someone who knows themselves deeply. You become someone who can process emotions without being overwhelmed by them. You become someone who reflects, grows, and evolves from the inside out. You'll stop reacting to life's challenges on autopilot and start responding with intention, wisdom, and clarity. You'll build the identity of someone who doesn't shy away from their emotions but instead understands, processes, and learns from them. Journaling is not just about writing. It's about learning. Learning to understand yourself, learning to grow, and learning to lead your own life. Now that you've gained clarity through journaling, it's time to move on to a habit that will continue to expand your mind and your confidence. In Chapter 8, You'll discover how learning one useful thing every day can reshape your thinking and accelerate your personal evolution. Chapter 8. Learn one useful thing every day. Your mind is the most powerful tool you own. But like any tool, it gets dull when it's not used properly or regularly. Growth doesn't happen by accident. Strength doesn't come by luck. Clarity doesn't appear by chance. You become stronger, smarter, and more capable because you choose to feed your mind the right things, consistently, daily, and intentionally. This is why the habit of learning one useful thing every day is so transformative. It's small enough that you can do it without feeling overwhelmed, yet powerful enough that it changes your perspective, boosts your confidence, and reshapes your identity over time. Here's the thing. Learning isn't about collecting facts. It's about upgrading the way your mind works. Every useful thing you learn becomes a tool you can use to solve problems, make better decisions, regulate your emotions, and grow as a person. Without learning, life becomes harder. You feel stuck because your thinking is stuck. You rely on emotions and knee-jerk reactions instead of wisdom and clarity. Your mindset becomes limited because your mind hasn't expanded. But when you make learning a habit, everything changes. You begin to see the world with fresh eyes. Problems become easier to solve. Challenges seem smaller. You feel more capable and confident in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Let's dive into how you can start this habit and build a daily learning practice that accelerates your growth. Step 1. Define what useful means for you. Learning one useful thing every day doesn't mean memorizing facts or doing complicated studies. Useful is about what helps you think better, live better, and become better. It could be a mindset principle that shifts the way you see challenges, a life lesson that aligns with your values, a psychological insight that improves your emotional intelligence, a financial tip that boosts your personal growth, a productivity technique that helps you get more done with less stress. Useful doesn't have to be big or impressive. It just has to make a positive impact on your life. Ask yourself, what will help me improve today? What will help me grow in the direction I want to go? Keep learning simple. When you begin with the right mindset, your brain becomes hungry for growth, and learning becomes a natural part of your day. Step 2. Keep your daily learning sessions small. One of the reasons people stop learning is because they aim too high. I'll read for an hour every night. I'll study for 2 hours every weekend. But life gets busy and motivation fades. Soon enough, that big plan falls apart. The key is to start small. Don't overwhelm yourself with long study sessions or complex materials. Aim for small, manageable learning sessions that you can do consistently. Maybe it's 10 minutes of reading, a 5-minute podcast that provides actionable insights, 1 page of a book that challenges your thinking, a quick video or tutorial on a skill you want to improve. Start with just one useful thing a day, even if it's just a few minutes. Your brain doesn't need quantity. It needs consistency. By making learning a part of your daily routine, you'll start to build intellectual momentum, and soon enough, the small efforts will add up to big results. Step 3. Capture your insight in a simple system. Learning without remembering does little to change your mindset. The trick is to capture your insights as you go. When you learn something new, write it down. Whether it's a notebook, an app, or even a simple sticky note, take a moment to record the key takeaways. Write down what you learned, why it matters, how you plan to use it. This simple act of recording reinforces your learning. It also makes it easier to apply in real life. As you review your insights, you'll start to see patterns and connections between the things you learn, and your ability to use that knowledge will grow. Step 4. Connect your learning to real life. Learning doesn't exist in a vacuum. It only becomes truly valuable when you apply it in real life. After learning something new, ask yourself, where can I use this? This is the question that turns theoretical knowledge into practical growth. Here's how it looks. Learn a productivity technique. Try it in your next work session. Learn a communication strategy. Use it in your next conversation. Learn a mindset shift. Apply it the next time you face a challenge. Learn a health tip. Implement it in your daily routine. By actively applying what you learn, you reinforce the neural connections that make that knowledge stick. It also shifts you from being a passive learner to an active creator of your life. Step 5. Build curiosity instead of pressure. The last thing you want is to turn learning into a chore. Learning should be fun, engaging, and stimulating. When you start thinking of learning as something you have to do, it becomes a burden. Instead, approach it with curiosity. Be curious about the world around you. Follow your interests. Dive into topics that excite you. Let your learning flow naturally without the pressure of perfection or obligation. Curiosity makes learning sustainable. It keeps you coming back for more, and it helps you stay engaged. By keeping learning fun and engaging, you rewire your brain to be hungry for knowledge. You begin to see learning as a tool for personal evolution, not just an academic task. Why this habit rewires your mindset. Learning is a powerful rewiring tool. When you consistently learn, you sharpen your intelligence. Your brain becomes faster, more flexible, and more adaptable. Strengthen your emotional stability. The more you learn, the more tools you have to handle life's challenges. Build confidence. Knowledge gives you the confidence to navigate the unknown. Increase your decision-making ability. The more you learn, the better you can assess situations and make informed choices. When you learn something new every day, you stop feeling stuck. You stop relying only on what you already know. You start expanding your mental boundaries, and with that, you create a mindset that's both powerful and adaptable. When you make learning a daily habit, you become someone who is always growing, always evolving. You don't just gather information, you apply it. You become someone who actively seeks out knowledge, not just to stay informed, but to improve the quality of your life. This habit redefines who you are. You're not someone who waits for change. You're someone who creates it, one piece of useful information at a time. And as you continue to learn, your sense of self-confidence and self-reliance will grow exponentially. You'll see the world as full of opportunity instead of limitation, ready to take your learning journey to the next level. The next chapter is all about the habit that will protect everything you've built so far, the habit of cutting what drains your energy. In Chapter 9, you'll discover how to eliminate the mental, emotional, and physical drains in your life to maximize your growth. Chapter 9. Cut what drains your energy. Your energy is your life force. Every part of your mindset, your focus, discipline, confidence, emotional stability depends on the strength of your energy. When your energy is high, life feels lighter. Challenges feel more manageable. You feel strong, clear, and capable. But when your energy is low, everything becomes harder. Even the simplest tasks feel overwhelming. Your thoughts are cloudy, your emotions are unbalanced, and your motivation fades. That's when doubt creeps in. That's when you start questioning whether you can really achieve your goals. Here's the hard truth. You're not tired because you do too much. You're tired because you tolerate too much. Most people are exhausted, not from doing too much, but from allowing energy leaks to drain them. They tolerate toxic relationships, negative habits, draining environments, and obligations that no longer serve them. They don't set boundaries. They don't protect their time, energy, or focus. As a result, their mental and emotional reserves get depleted. But what if you could change that? What if you could start eliminating the things that drain you? both consciously and unconsciously. Let's dive into how you can start cutting those drains and reclaiming your energy. This will be a game changer in rewiring your mindset. Step 1. Identify your energy leaks. The first step to cutting what drains you is to identify what's actually draining you. You can't cut what you can't see, so take a few moments to reflect on what's zapping your energy. Ask yourself, people, who leaves you feeling drained, anxious, or frustrated? Who are you spending time with that doesn't inspire or uplift you? Habits. What behaviors or routines steal your time, focus, or peace of mind? Is it mindlessly scrolling on your phone or watching too much TV? Digital noise. Which apps, notifications, or platforms leave your mind cluttered and distracted? Clutter. What physical spaces or environments weigh on you instead of supporting you? Is your workspace messy? Is your living area chaotic? Mental loops. What thoughts or beliefs keep you stuck or stressed? Do you find yourself stuck in repetitive negative thinking or overanalyzing situations? The first act of self-respect is to be honest with yourself. Identifying these energy drains may not be comfortable, but it's necessary if you want to create a life where your energy works for you, not against you. Step 2. Remove 3 small drains immediately. Once you've identified your energy drains, don't wait. Take immediate action. Start by removing 3 small drains from your life. These don't have to be massive changes. In fact, the smaller the better. You're looking for easy wins that you can implement right now. Examples might include unsubscribing from irrelevant email lists, muting or unfollowing toxic social media accounts, clearing a small area of your workspace, setting boundaries with a friend or family member who drains your energy. Small drains add up over time, so removing just a few of them today can make a significant difference in how you feel tomorrow. Step 3. Set 1 non-negotiable boundary. Boundaries are not about controlling others. They are about protecting yourself. Boundaries are the rules you set for how others can treat you and how you treat yourself. Ask yourself, where am I leaking energy because I'm saying yes when I should be saying no? Where in my life do I need to start protecting my peace and my time? Start by setting 1 non-negotiable boundary. This could be not answering work emails outside of office hours, saying no to a social obligation you don't feel aligned with, limiting time spent with a person who drains your energy, saying no to tasks that are outside your core responsibilities. Setting boundaries doesn't have to be harsh. It's simply about prioritizing your well-being. Once you begin enforcing 1 boundary, you'll start to see your energy reserves grow and your sense of self-respect will deepen. Step 4. Create a minimum energy standard. It's not enough to just remove energy drains. You also need to boost your energy intentionally. One way to do this is by setting a minimum energy standard for yourself. This is a rule you create to ensure you're always protecting your energy and surrounding yourself with people, habits, and environments that elevate you. Your energy standard could include rules like, I don't stay in conversations that drain me. I don't spend time with people who consistently complain. I don't engage in arguments that go nowhere. I don't participate in habits that make me feel weak or unmotivated. These are simple but powerful guidelines for how you choose to spend your time and energy. When you create a standard for your life, you're taking control. You're no longer letting life drain you. Instead, you're aligning with your highest self. Step 5. Add daily energy boosters. Now that you've removed some drains and set boundaries, it's time to add some energy boosters into your daily routine. These are small, positive actions that fill you up instead of depleting you. Examples of energy boosters include morning light to reset your circadian rhythm and boost your mood, hydration to fuel both your body and your mind, movement to get your body and brain active, even just 5 minutes of stretching, healthy conversations with uplifting, supportive people, nature. A quick walk outside can reset your mind and energy. Silence or meditation to calm your nervous system and ground yourself. The key is to make sure that your daily habits are aligned with maintaining a high level of energy. Start your day with practices that energize you, and keep adding small actions throughout the day to keep your energy level high. Why this habit rewires your mindset. The most important thing you can do to protect your energy is to recognize that your mindset is fueled by your energy. When your energy is high, your mental state improves. You think clearly, you respond calmly, and you feel more confident. But when your energy is low, your mindset becomes scattered. You overthink, you doubt yourself, and you feel overwhelmed. Energy management is about setting yourself up for success by removing the things that drain you and protecting your energy. This habit rewires your mindset by changing how you show up in the world. You begin to create an environment, both physical and mental, that supports your goals and well-being. You become someone who chooses what to focus on, who to spend time with, and how to use your energy in the most productive way possible. The identity shift when you cut what drains your energy. You become someone who protects their mental and emotional space. You stop tolerating things that weigh you down. You set boundaries, enforce them, and create a life that supports your growth. You start to see yourself as someone who is empowered to choose what they give their energy to. Your sense of self-respect and confidence grows. You stop being passive in your life and start being active in the way you protect your energy. This habit transforms your mindset. You stop feeling overwhelmed, and instead, you feel grounded, energized, and in control. You become someone who rises above external demands and thrives in your own chosen environment. Now that you've learned how to protect your energy, it's time for the final habit that will bind everything you've worked on together. In Chapter 10, we'll dive into how consistency, not perfection, is the key to keeping all of these habits intact and making them a permanent part of your life. Chapter 10. Build consistency, not perfection. Perfection is a trap. It's a lie we tell ourselves that holds us back. Consistency is where the true power lies. Most people stay stuck, not because they lack talent or desire, but because they believe they need to be perfect in order to grow. They wait for the perfect time, the perfect routine, the perfect mindset to start. And because perfection never comes, progress never begins. You may have experienced this in your own life. Perhaps you've been waiting for the right moment to start working on your goals, your habits, or your dreams. You tell yourself that once everything is aligned perfectly, that's when you'll begin. But the truth is, that moment never comes. Perfection kills momentum. It kills confidence. It kills growth. It kills your ability to take consistent action. And without consistent action, nothing gets done. Here's the key to transforming your life. Consistency is far more important than perfection. It's about showing up day after day, no matter how you feel, no matter how imperfectly you do it. It's about continuing to move forward, even on the days when you don't feel like it. Let's break down how to build consistency and how to make it the foundation of everything you've worked for. Step 1. Focus on the minimum version, not the perfect version. One of the biggest barriers to consistency is the belief that you need to do something perfectly or dramatically. But here's the truth. You don't need to do everything at once. The key is to focus on the minimum version of the habit you want to build. This is the simplest version of the action you can take, no matter how small. For example, if you want to move your body daily, commit to 5 minutes of stretching, not an hour-long workout. If you want to read daily, commit to reading 1 page, not a chapter. If you want to journal, commit to writing just one sentence. When you make the bar low enough that you can't fail, you take away the resistance. And by consistently showing up, even if it's just for a few minutes, you create the habit of showing up. The more often you show up, the easier it becomes. Step 2. Stop the all-or-nothing thinking. All-or-nothing thinking is a trap that keeps people from making progress. It's the mindset that says, if I can't do it perfectly, then I might as well not do it at all. This kind of thinking kills progress because it leaves you stuck in perfection paralysis. You end up waiting for the right moment to start, or you give up after missing a day because you think, what's the point? Here's the truth. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to show up, even if it's in a small way. You need to make progress, not perfection. Progress, even if it's small, is still progress. And consistency beats perfection every time. So when you miss a day, don't quit. Just get back on track the next day. Never zero. One missed day doesn't mean the end of the world. It just means you have an opportunity to start again. The key is to keep going, no matter how imperfectly. Step 3. Create a 2-day rule. One of the best ways to build consistency is by using the 2-day rule. This rule is simple and incredibly effective. You're allowed to miss one day, but never 2 days in a row. Here's why it works. If you miss a day, don't beat yourself up. Just get back on track the next day. But if you miss 2 days, momentum breaks. You fall into the trap of excuses and procrastination. You lose sight of your progress and start to feel disconnected from your habits. The 2-day rule helps keep you on track without the pressure of perfection. It ensures that if you slip up, you don't let it snowball into a bigger failure. You get right back up and keep moving forward. Step 4. Track consistency, not performance. Most people track the wrong things. They track results. They track intensity. They track outcomes. But results come later. Performance fluctuates. And outcomes are unpredictable. What matters most is consistency. Instead of measuring performance, focus on whether you showed up each day. You can track this easily by using a simple calendar or habit tracker. Mark the days you've shown up, no matter how small the action was. This visual proof will help you stay motivated and build momentum. When you track your consistency, you reinforce the identity of someone who follows through. You start to believe, I show up every day, I don't quit. This identity becomes more powerful than motivation, and it leads to more consistent action. Step 5. Forgive quickly. Restart immediately. Here's something most people don't realize. Guilt kills progress. When you miss a day or make a mistake, your mind might try to convince you that you failed. You might feel guilty, ashamed, or frustrated with yourself. But guilt is the enemy of consistency. The key is to forgive yourself quickly and restart immediately. Don't let guilt linger. Don't waste time feeling sorry for yourself. Just recognize that life happens and move on. Consistency is about showing up every day, even when it's hard. The faster you forgive yourself and get back to your habit, the faster you'll build a new identity of someone who can be relied upon to follow through. Why this habit rewires your mindset. Consistency is the key that ties everything together. It turns all the habits you've been working on into permanent change. It turns intention into action. It transforms identity from someone who wants to change into someone who does. When you focus on consistency, you stop relying on motivation, willpower, or perfect conditions. You start building the identity of someone who gets things done. You become someone who shows up every single day. This is how you rewire your mindset. You go from someone who starts and quits to someone who keeps going, no matter what. And in that process, you become unstoppable. The identity shift when consistency becomes a habit. You become someone who keeps going. You stop feeling like a failure when things aren't perfect. You stop waiting for the perfect time or the perfect mindset. You simply take action. This shift in identity is what leads to true transformation. You become someone who doesn't need motivation to take action. You just do it. And with each day, you get stronger, clearer, and more confident. Consistency is the foundation of everything. It's what keeps your habits alive. It's what transforms you from someone who dreams into someone who achieves. Now that you've built the foundation of consistency, everything you've worked for is about to take root. The next step is taking your new mindset and applying it to everything you do. Your new life is not about waiting for perfect moments or waiting for motivation. It's about choosing to build it, one consistent step at a time.